Gutted, absolutely gutted. My heart is still pumping right now from the adrenaline of keeping the faith, believing that we could have scored right until the end. But and then there's the other side of me that just wants to punch a wall. Um, we had the chances, we had more of the possession, and we missed everything. And football is a game of missed chances, and this absolutely underlines our performance tonight. Missed opportunity. There goes another season without a title. And I'm not crediting this loss to Niko Kovac's tactics. Far from it. I think it was in-game mismanagement by a lot of players. Karim Adeyemi had three brilliant chances in the first half, missed all of them, and then for the last 5 minutes we had about 90% of possession and created some chances, got some long balls into the Leverkusen's penalty area, and just didn't convert. And now we're sat here once again exiting the DFB Pokal in the round of 16, just like we have in the last 3 years, following our triumph in 2021. Lost in 2022, lost in 23 to Stuttgart, lost in 24 to Wolfsburg, and was sat at the same place with empty hands. And as a Dortmund fan, makes you wonder, like, what is there to come? And am I sitting here and saying that Niko Kovac needs to leave? No, I'm not, because again, this is not down to his decision making, but it's just disappointing that after season you're sat here with no titles, and what can you show? You made a run to the Champions League, to the quarterfinals, you finished second in the Bundesliga once again. And so it's not very interesting for Dortmund fan, and it's kind of, this follows along sort of the trend of up and down, constantly going on and off, the performances, and there's no real consistency, right? It's ebb and flow, and there's no real consistency of a 5 or 6 game win streak, of actually beating formidable opponents when it matters most. I think that's what needs to be said. When it matters most, we beat Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. Congratulations. What does that get you now? Gets you knocked out of the round of 16 because we didn't manage to beat them in the DFB Pokal. Arguably a bigger match. Was it Kovac's defining match? Who knows? But and we were better. It's not like they deserved it, but now they have the upper hand, and now they can say we knocked you out, and they have it all to play for. So I'm seething inside. Thankfully, I've gone through worse and more humiliating and painful defeats. So this is, I'd say, minor in comparison to those defeats. But it still stings, and it will still take time to recover from this and to process this. It hurts. But I think what Dortmund now has to do is focus on the Champions League and focus on the Bundesliga. Obviously, second place, no excuses. And Champions League top 8 finish. I want us to destroy Tottenham, and I want us to get a draw against Inter Milan, and that should see us through to the final 8, and then minimum reach the quarters. Because again, we're sat here with this array of talent, with these players who really play well and play their hearts out in a lot of games. I mean, just look at the likes of Nico Schlotterbeck, really, even the last 5 minutes, giving his all, running up the pitch on the left side, always trying to create space for himself. Even Julian Brandt, Emre Can had a good game, and Mecha. And you're thinking to yourselves, I just feel sorry for them. You feel sorry for them as a fan. You're not even a player, you feel sorry for them as a fan, because they've got nothing to show for. And at the end of the season, they'll look back and say, we finished second once again, same output. So there's no development within Borussia Dortmund. And that's the thing I'm trying to get out. So it's a difficult pill to swallow. I think, obviously, in a couple of days' time, we'll have more insight and more understanding from the situation. But for now, it's disaster. And I'm not taking this lightly. This is big alarm bells ringing, because this has been a continuous trend for Borussia Dortmund, and things need changing. And it's just disappointing. So many thoughts going around in my head. But I'll just leave it at that. Just take a breather. Go for a walk. Clear my mind. I think that's the best thing to do. Just as a fan, to get away from the game. Because if you get too consumed, you'll just enter a world of just negative thoughts, negative comments, and that's not really healthy. So take a break from the game, and I'll speak to you, everyone, in a bit.